breaking news.
I'm Andy Crowley in Washington with more on that missing Malaysian airliner. Vietnam's Navy has spotted a new floating object off the country's southwest coast in the Gulf of Thailand. Meanwhile, Thailand's Navy is shifting search efforts away from that region and instead is focusing on whether the plane might have gone down near Thailand's border. Reuters reports that the plane may have disintegrated in midair. CNN's international correspondent Andrew Stevens joins me now from Beijing. Andrew, we get lots of conflicting reports, lots of water out there. What does it tell you about the search that we have yet to definitively find any part of that plane?
It is an extraordinary story, Candy, that more than 2 days on now, we still don't have any real clear picture of where this plane may have gone down. We've been talking a lot about these two fuel slicks. There are now tests being conducted on that fuel to find out whether it actually came from the plane or not, whether it's jet gas, and also this new development about the plane that possibly may have turned around. Now, there is radar tracking. The Royal Malaysian Air Force chief said that there was a possibility that the plane had turned around. He gave no further indication. Certainly there was nothing from the plane itself. The pilots or the automatic sensors on the plane, which feed regularly back to the airline, to suggest that the plane was turning around, that the pilots had made that decision. So after another 24 hours, frustratingly short on real facts here at the moment. What I can say is the actual search itself is expanding because of that potential turnaround by the plane. There's now some 40 vessels involved from several countries. Now 22 planes. The US is involved. It's sending the long-range, the Orion P3 aircraft. They can be in the air for up to sort of 12 hours looking. So at the moment, Candy, we're really no further forward than we were this time 24 hours ago.
One of the curious things we know is that two passengers bought their tickets with passports that were stolen. These passports apparently had been reported stolen, and Interpol flagged them. So the question is, how do you get a ticket on a plane with a passport that's been flagged as stolen by Interpol?
That is rapidly becoming a big question. Interpol has said that they put that on their own database, the fact that these two passports had indeed been stolen, but that information never got to immigration officials at Malaysia's international airport in Kuala Lumpur, and no one yet is saying why that didn't happen. A lot of very big questions there. What we do know about these two passports, they were used, the people who used them, they bought the tickets virtually simultaneously in Bangkok on a China Southern Airlines flight. Now, this is a code share with Malaysians, so these two people must have known each other because it was a simultaneous buy virtually. Their flight, the route was rather interesting. The flight was going to take them from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing and then on to Amsterdam. And from there were two further flights. The person holding the Austrian passport was going to Frankfurt. The person holding the Italian passport was going to go to Copenhagen. Interesting to note, though, that if you do get a transfer through Beijing, you don't need to get a Chinese visa, Candy. So they could have, Beijing could have been their final destination, but they wouldn't have had to apply for a visa. But again, more questions than answers on that particular part of this story as well.
Right, and hopefully if they find that plane, there will be some answers on board, and of course, in those recording data blocks. Thanks so much, Andrew Stevens in Beijing. We appreciate